Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me as I do a snail mail with me. Today we're going to write to my pen pal Simone, and this is the beautiful letter that she wrote me. And here is the letter I decorated for her, and you can see more detail of that on my Instagram account. I'm going to start off with this botanical sheet of paper. I really like it because it is naturally aged on the edges, and I just think that's a beautiful look on a piece of paper. I'm making sure before I really get started that it's going to fit within the envelope, because I have started a few projects without measuring and then I have to improvise, and that's never a good feeling. I'm going to make sure that I use the same piece of paper that I decorated, or I guess the same scrapbook piece of paper that I decorated the envelope with. That way there's a similar theme amongst my crafting. So as I'm crafting, I just kind of wanted to talk to you just to see how everyone was doing this week. Was your week fun, interesting, stressful? I would like to know. You can let me know in the comments down below. I know that this week was, I would say, interesting, but also very busy. I know on Sunday I received a text message from my mom letting me know that there was a mama moose inside the dog fence. And she was a little scared that the dogs were going to get hurt, because the dogs were, of course, trying to play and interact with the mama moose, and the mama moose was just not having it. She was charging at them, and so she was going to try to call them in before anything happened. And, for a while there, I was just kind of holding my breath, because I was like, oh no, my dog Titus, that's my dog's name, can't get hurt. And then I'm thinking about the other dogs, which are Ginger and Ada. They're my siblings' dogs. And though they're like the best friends. So whatever one does, the rest do. And so I'm like, I don't want them to get hurt either. And thankfully, none of them got hurt. My mom came to the rescue and they came inside the house. But for those of you who do not know, I live in Alaska, so moose are fairly common out here, but they're even more common out in the wooded areas. And my parents live in a very wooded area. It is so beautiful out there. But, moose are more comfortable out there, so they just walk wherever they feel is necessary to. And sometimes that means destroying dog fences. And I would say that moose get inside that dog pen probably twice a winter, and my dad always has to fix that fence. Although I love the moose and I love how beautiful they are, I was just scared because I was like, I don't want the moose to get hurt, and I definitely do not want our dogs to get hurt. Thankfully, the moose was not hurt and the dogs were not hurt. So I guess at the end it ended up being great news. But yes, so moose are pretty common down here. Please let me know, if you don't live in Alaska, are there any animals that you worry about when your dogs are outside? My dogs are not necessarily outside dogs. They have more like they're like free range. They can go in and out wherever they want to because they have a doggy door. But yeah, so yeah, moose are one of the things, and sometimes bears, depending on if they're deciding to hang out near my parents' house. But anyways, yes, I would like to know if you don't live in Alaska, or I guess if you do live in Alaska and I didn't mention an animal that you're concerned about, please let me know in the comments below. The next thing that happened this week was, I'm new to an organization that I'm working with. So right now I work very closely to a dear friend of mine, and I barely started working with the other members in our group or our team. And just as soon as I get comfortable working with this team member, I hear in the beginning of the week that she's leaving us. She's leaving our team. She's going to go pursue different things, a different organization, and I think that's awesome. I think it's amazing that people are are willing to take the next step. They're going to a different direction in their career field. I support that, and I think that women should support women when they make these choices. However, at the same time, I'm very nervous because our team is already fairly small and we do a lot. Like, we do a lot of work, and now I'm thinking like, oh no, like we're about to have extra responsibilities. And not that it's a bad thing. I think responsibility is great. I can do that. But my mind right now, because it's my last semester of school, my mind is very on a very tight schedule. And so so I'm just thinking about that. I'm just worried about that a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, I am very worried, but downplaying it like, no, we could do this. We could do this. We have a great team. We have excellent communication skills. We got this. So I just have to keep reminding myself that. Anyways, back to the crafting that I'm doing. I finished the pocket, and now I'm just collecting paper. And when I pick out paper, I like to spread it out like this. I want to make sure that all the paper kind of matches. I just don't want it to be too matchy. Like it all came from the same packet of paper. I don't like that. I like it to be different. I want to share with my pen pals some of my materials that I have that they may not have. As you could tell, I got the colorful things, but I also got some of the vintage, and then now I'm gathering my printables. I'm now, the final thing I'm going to add is these vintage tickets that I got. And I shared with you all, I believe, in my stationery haul. And I'm just going to choose these blue ones just because I don't feel like there's enough blue showing and coming through. My pen pals love decorating with bus tickets, so I was very excited that I found those. Now that's pretty much all the paper I'm going to gather, and when I put it into the pocket, I try my best to make sure that it's aesthetically pleasing. Like, I want it to look like it's a little bouquet of flowers. Although I know it may not arrive to her like this, she's gonna know I tried to put it in beautifully, and you never know, it may arrive like this. The envelope may not move around everywhere as it's flying to her, but realistically that's not gonna happen. But still, it looks beautiful. I'm happy with it. And now I'm going to move to the top of the flipbook. And I know for sure that I want to work with some washi tapes. So I gathered a few that are similar to the color theme that I'm kind of going through. But before I do, I need to cut out my tag. And this is a little tag machine that I use. I don't always include washi tape in my snail mail, but I'm trying to now. And a little tip that I have is, if you don't have a tag that is glossy, I guess you could say, then put a little bit of package tape on it. That way, when you put your washi tape sample on it, your pen pal can use the entire washi tape sample. This is something I just started using, and so far I'm really enjoying the results. So now obviously my little tag is small. I cannot put all the washi tape that I selected. So I'm just kind of going and collecting them on my fingers and kind of holding them up against the scrap piece of paper and all the little scraps of paper I gathered for her, just to make sure it's going to work. I want to make sure I'm providing her in a way with a little collection, and everything that's in there is able to work well together. So that way, if she's journaling or if she decides she wants to share some things with her other pen pals, she can, and it can all be similar. Anyways, I like things, even although they're not perhaps from the same paper packet, they look like they belong together, like they can work together, and hopefully it can inspire her. And in case you're wondering, because I always wondered when I watched these snail mail with me, I go around the tag 7 times. I don't know if you needed to know that, but for those of you that needed to know that, 7 times. currently watching the snow fall, and no matter how long I live in Alaska, I swear the snow is still so magical to watch. And I just love watching it fall. It's so cozy inside the apartment, and it's so beautiful outside. It just makes me so happy. And the body has the same effect for me. So like when it rains, I know I'm gonna sleep well. If it's snowing outside at night, I know I'm gonna sleep well. And it's just a thing that I have. So it's like, snow's kind of like water, so it's kind of like rain. And it's not at all. But point being, it's still as beautiful. I'm not always a fan of shoveling the snow, but I always will be a fan of watching it. Anyways, like I said, it's beautifully snowing out here. And which reminds me of another thing I did this week, something spontaneous. Me and my partner decided that we were going to go walking outside. And I'm not a winter walker, like that's not my thing. But we decided we wanted to do something different, so we did. And it was beautiful. It's still a little dark here, like we're still getting sunlight back slowly, but we went around like 7:30, 8 o'clock, and it gets kind of dark out here. I'm not gonna lie, the sun goes away. But we live in a very well lit community, and I was honestly surprised that it wasn't real cold outside. Obviously we made sure we geared up well and made sure we had the proper thermals and jackets and stuff, and our little reflectors to make sure the cars could see us. Just in case you guys were wondering if we were safe, we were. And it was just nice. It was perfect weather. I was very surprised to see how many people walk their dogs at night, go jogging, go walking. It was like everybody was out, and it was pretty cool. And it was also a nice time just to talk with one another, letting each other know what happened in our day, what we liked, what we didn't like, what we aspire to do, what habits we'd like to change. And it was just very much needed time, not only outside, but also just connecting, which was awesome. I really enjoyed it. That is something that I really enjoy. And once we got back into the apartment, we're like, we need to do that more often. So that was pretty cool. After the chaotic week, that was something that, just made my week. That just made everything better. Let me know, what is something spontaneous that you did this week? I went for a walk outside in the winter. I guess now I'm going to be a winter walker. I don't know, but we do plan on doing it again. Back to what I'm working on. So I obviously added a background to the back of where the washi tape is. I didn't want to add anything that was too bright because I wanted the washi tape to be the focal point. I'm now trying to work on the other side of the washi tape, and I'm gathering this piece of vellum. And I just got into decorating with vellum. This is something new for me. I see everybody working with it, and they create such beautiful things. And I was like, I want to create beautiful things. So I purchased a piece. I only purchased one piece because I didn't want to be wasteful, and I didn't know if I was going to enjoy working with it, because vellum's one of those things, like once you bend it, it is bent. You can't unbend it because you're going to be able to see that line. And if you know me, like in real life, I'm like a little klutz. I trip over air. When I'm drinking water, I miss my mouth. So vellum is like something a little dangerous for me, but I'm really enjoying it. I really like it. As you can tell, I have one small piece left. Don't worry, I will be going to Joann's and buying more. But you know what? I decided that the vellum's not working for me in this area, and I'm trying to get inspired the idea I had. And so I'm going through my sticker book, hoping that some inspiration will come. And all I can find is this yellow sticker. And then I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should stop working in this area and start working in a different area. And that's what I do. Here I am with the front, putting the vellum away for a little bit, and getting that piece of scrapbook paper that I'm trying to make the theme throughout the whole flip book. And I don't want to use all of it up because I still have the back to work with. So I'm just going to cut it in half and use this little ruler technique. As you can tell, I'm very green at this area. I'm not an expert at cutting with the ruler yet, but I'm becoming more comfortable with it. And you will see as this video goes that I get better. What I do know is that I don't want to decorate the entire front. I just want some area. I don't want to cover the book page because, like I said, I really like the vintage edges of these pages, and I want her to see that. I want her to see the little vintage area. Like, this is the reason why I picked this piece of paper to be the foundation. So yeah, Simon is one of those pen pals that got me into working with color. If you followed me from the beginning of my crafting journey, I have come a long way, for one, but for two, I started out very vintage, like a very vintage style. And that was awesome from the beginning, and that's what I needed. But now I see that my crafting style is changing. So last year I really started working with fabric, incorporating that with my paper crafts. In this year, I'm really just trying to embrace coloring and layering. Layering is something that I'm getting into. That's something that I'm not very comfortable with, but I'm becoming comfortable doing it because I'm realizing that there's no right way to do it. You just gotta do it in your own style. And I'm like, wow, like this is awesome. Like, I'm becoming more comfortable with it. My pen pals are so awesome at it. They inspire me every single time they give me a letter or they make me little tags. I'm like, I just can stare at their layering technique forever because I just think it is so beautiful the way they do it. And so they inspired me. I hope that my pen pals notice that there's a shift to my crafting. And I think that's important because, you know, crafting is like art. It changes throughout the years as we get older, as we get experienced. And I love that. So here I am layering. And like I said, she's one of the pen pals that helped me embrace color. And I do have a few more pen pals that I'm excited to share with you throughout this year. I will show you what they send me, and hopefully they'll inspire you. I love all my pen pals. You can just tell like how happy these people are, or like how fun they are when you get their letter, because you could just feel it when you open it. You could just like, oh wow, I would like totally love to hang out with you one day like in real life. But you know, I'm just so glad that I get the honor to write you. So now that I have the front pretty much to my liking, I'm now going back to this little section of paper that I was having a hard time with. And what I decide is that I'm going to make it a sticker section. I don't have a lot of stickers. As you can see, I only had 2 sticker books, but you know what? I'm going to share what I have. And I also want to make sure it kind of matches the theme. I want to make sure it's sticking with the theme because sometimes I can get a little distracted. And that little piece of paper that says dream, that's actually a sticker. And so if my pen pal peels it, she can put it in her journal, or she can use it in her snail mail. Just in case you're wondering why I was putting that with the stickers. It is a sticker. It's like a journaling sticker. It's like a little Heidi Tuck interactive writing area sticker. It has a lot of things, but it's a sticker. And so I'm just kind of layering it and putting it all together with a paper clip. I'm going to have to add stickers to my stationery collection because, like I said, I don't have much, but I should. I'm starting to use them more, and I like to share them with my pen pals. Before I get to the back, I'm grabbing this piece of ribbon because I want to share it with my pen pal and I don't want to forget about it. And then I discover that it fits perfectly in the vellum. I staple it, but I mostly want to incorporate the scrapbook paper. and I almost forgot about it, and then I grabbed it because I was like, oh no, I can't forget about this last piece. I need to make sure it fits there. And so I put that down really quickly before the glue dries on the vellum. I'm just now kind of holding it all together with some washi tape. And I'm using the same washi tape that I gave her as a washi tape sample, just because, you know, when my pen pals give me washi tape, they normally, or some of them normally also decorate their snail mail with it. And I really like it because I like to see the way they combine the washi tape together. My original idea is that I was going to write a quote on this piece of paper, but you know, I didn't feel like that was something that I needed to do. I end up deciding to write down what I am reading because I'm really trying to get into reading again. I've been so busy where I've been really slow at reading, and so this year is the year that I'm trying to incorporate it more. Now, as I say this, and as I'm writing down this book title, I have yet to touch this book. But I know that because I told my pen pal I was going to do this, this is accountability. Because the next time she writes me, she's going to ask me about this book. And so, Simon, thank you for helping me be accountable of what I say. So I'm hoping that when she writes me next, I can at least say, hey, I'm halfway within the book and it's awesome. I'm trying to read more. My goal is 50 books this year. House of Earth and Blood will be book number 3. So I'm not doing the greatest progress, but you know what? I'm at least making progress. Who else is with me trying to read more? I don't know. Let me know. Maybe I'm the only one struggling with this. But you know, when I was young, I used to read all the time. Like you could not take a book out of my hands. Here is the flip book. I'm going to clean my area really quickly. I'm pretty happy with what I created, and I'm kind of just, you know, gathering everything that I'm going to put in this letter. So this is the letter that I wrote her. I wrote it in this little note card, and it works really well with the color theme. It has all the purples and pinks in there. And here's my flip book. I think it's beautiful. I think it's very colorful. It's simple, but it's fine. Like, not every snail mail has to be extravagant and interactive. It can be just pretty and with purpose. And I'm hoping that my channel can show you that sometimes you have time to make something very detailed, and other times you don't necessarily have that time, but you can still make something beautiful. And the last thing I'm going to add is this beautiful stationery with the purple sunflower. I think it works really well with the little collection that I have. Kind of looking at it from a distance, making sure it all looks pretty, and it does. Everything looks great. I want to thank you so much for joining me as I do this snail mail with me. I hope that you enjoyed it. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you would like to see more videos like this. I had lots of fun creating this. I'm excited to do more in the future. I hope you guys have a lovely day.